I'm Anil Kumar, and in this series, we'll learn quadratic modeling. We're going to use factored form of quadratic equation to model the given situation. The question here is, determine an equation to describe the curve that best fits the given scatter plot. Now we are given few points here. These are the points which we need to consider and write down a quadratic model for this, right? Now looking into this, it seems if we connect these points, we get a parabola. Do you see that? So we get a parabola. A parabola could be represented by a quadratic model, right? Now here clearly you see 1, 0, which is at 6. Well, if you extend this, we may get the value of the other 0 also. So you can do sometimes interpolation or extrapolation, as the case here is, to find the zeros, since factored form involves getting zeros. So let me first write down what is factored form. So when we say factored form, what we really mean? That means we're looking for an equation which is kind of like this: y equals to a times x minus x1 times x minus x2, where x1 and x2 are zeros, right? This is very important to understand. We are given 1, 0. That is to say, we could say x1 is 6, for example, but we don't know what the other 0 is. Now, how to find the other 0? So that's the question, right? So we need to think like this: how to find other 0. We know 1 is at x equals to 6. So we can say x1 is at 6. Okay. How about x2? That is, what is the value of x2? Now to get the solution for this, if you look carefully, we do find a maximum here, right? So this represents a maximum. Do you see that? Now this maximum is at 2, right? This maximum is at 2. So from here, we can say axis of symmetry is at x equals to 2. Is it okay? That really means, as you know, parabola is symmetric about its axis. That really means that the zeros should be same distance apart, right? So from 2 to 6, we are 4 units apart, right? 6 minus 2. So here also we should be 4 units apart. So minus 4 should give us this value. Clearly, this value should be minus 2. Do you get an idea, right? Since these two lengths should be equal. Do you get an idea, right? So that is how we can find the other 0. So again, we have axis of symmetry, which is x equals to 2. And from here, we get x2 as minus 2, because they have to be same distance apart. So this is very important to understand. These two are same distance apart. And then we can write down our equation, which is y equals to a times x minus 6, which is this one, times x minus minus 2, so I can make it plus 2. You get an idea, right? So that is how you get your first cut at the equation. Now in this equation, we have a. We don't know the value of a. To find the value of a, we have to select one of these points. The best point is the y-intercept if it is given to us. First priority should be this. We will also take the maximum, right? Now since I've used maximum for calculating the other x-intercept, I'm not using this point again. I'm using another point. We have 5 points here, right? Rather 6, right? Rather 7. So you can choose any one of them. We already selected 6, right? We found minus 2 using the axis of symmetry. Now we'll use the y-intercept, which is when x is 0, the value of y is 60, right? So we can replace y with 60, right? And x with 0. So we'll replace y with 60 and x with 0, right? In our equation, so we have a, x with 0, I'll just write 0 here, for x. So this point basically is 0, 60, is it okay? Which is the y-intercept. Is it okay? So you can use y-intercept to find the value of a. That gives us 60 equals to a times minus 6 times 2, or 60 equals to a times minus 12, you could write. Okay. And therefore, a is 60 divided by minus 12, which is minus 5, correct? So a is minus 5. Since we know a is minus 5, we can replace this a with minus 5, right? So go back to your equation and then substitute a in this equation as minus 5 to get your answer, right? So we get y equals to a is minus 5, x minus 6 times x plus 2, right? So that is the quadratic equation in factored form which we are looking for. So that becomes this model which represents the given scatter plot, right? I hope the steps are absolutely clear. So the idea here is, first step is to check if these points represent a parabola, right? So this is the first point. We are looking for a parabola. Now if it does, then we are looking for x-intercepts, right? We found x-intercepts with the help of vertex, and that is symmetry. Right. So using this concept, we came up with the factored form as y equals to a times x minus 6 times x plus 2. To find the specific value of a, we use a y-intercept 0, 60, and found a as minus 5, which gave us the equation y equals to minus 5 times x minus 6 times x plus 2. So that is the answer for us. Quadratic model in factored form for the given scatter plot. I'm Anil Kumar, and I hope that helps to understand the basic concept. So we'll take a few examples on scatter plot, and then we'll also see how to write quadratic models when the data is given in table form. Thank you and all the best. If you like my videos, you can always put a thumbs up and share with your friends. Thank you and all the best.